Hey everyone, it's Catherine from 85th and Pine, and in today's video we are going to do a project on our Thunder Nova 35 100 watt, and we're going to actually make a new sign for our new workshop. Behind me there's this blank wall right here. We need to put something there, and that's where our new sign is going to be. So I haven't started it yet. You're going to follow along with me, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm going to talk about the material that I purchased to make this sign. And I got this from Home Depot. It's Columbia Forest Products. I really highly recommend it. This is actually 1/4 inch red oak. And I'm going to use up the whole entire piece, and I'm going to make it into planks because that's just the style we want to go with. So I'm going to probably use about 3 sheets of this. It's going to fit perfectly into our 35 bed size. And I'm also going to cut out our logo on a separate piece and spray paint that, adhere it to the planks. So we'll show you step by step on how that process will work. Alright, so another feature we really wanted to use for this sign was some strip lighting. We have not tried this out yet. This is the first time we're working with strip lighting. Got this on Amazon, and as you can see it comes with a little remote, so we could easily turn it on and off, and it goes to several different colors. But we want to put this behind our sign when it's finished on the wall, so we're going to adhere it to the back of our sign, and so it has this nice backlight to it. So let's go ahead and start cutting, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, now it's the exciting part. We're going to get on to the assembly process of this sign. So as you can see, I have it in planks right here as I cut it on my machine. And these are all slightly different sizes, so I'm not going to worry too much about making it perfectly aligned, but I do want to make it the best I can. And in order to attach these, I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on the back of this. So this is the back side. As you can see, it has burn marks on the back, which I'm not worried about because it's not going to be seen. So I'm just going to line these up the best I can. And once it looks pretty good to me, I'm just going to use some Gorilla Wood Glue. And I have these pieces that I cut as well. And I just actually used 2 pieces of the 1/4 inch and glued them together. So I cut 4 pieces and glued 2 each together just to make it thicker, because I didn't have thicker material. So I just used this material twice. So I want it to be raised off from the wall a little bit so that we can fit our light strip underneath it. So that's why I'm going in, plus we need to make sure these are attached to something, so that's why we're going to use 2 planks for this. So I'm going to line these up on the back side, and we're going to be attaching this to studs on our wall. So the studs are about 16 inches apart, which is pretty standard. So I'm going to make sure the centers of these are about 16 inches apart so that they can properly be screwed into the wall. So that's the one thing that I want to make sure of, but other than that, I don't really need it to be perfect. So I'm just going to kind of measure at the 16-inch mark where I want it to go. Right now it's about 15, so I'm just going to scoot them apart a little bit more. And since these are pretty wide, there's some wiggle room to work with, so that's good. So that's probably good enough. And before I glue, so I'm going to glue these with the wood glue onto the panels right here and let that dry for at least 25 minutes or so. I'll probably put some weights on it so that it adheres the best that it can. And then we'll move on to the next step. All right, now it's all glued together, and I'm going to test it out and see how strong it is. So it looks pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over now. So this is the front of the sign, and I decided just to keep this the natural wood color. That's just the look I wanted. I thought about staining it a walnut color, but I actually wanted to spray paint my logo that's going on here black, so I want that to pop a little bit. So I'm gonna keep this the way it is because I like the wood grain and everything. So this is the front of the sign. Now I'm going to use the wood that I cut my logo out kind of as a jig, which is this big round circle right here. So it's not gonna be a perfect jig, but my circle is not a perfect circle. It's not perfectly measured the same width and length. So this will help me kind of guide where to put the circle. So once I have that in, which is about there, I'm gonna go ahead and just take my little cutout off. And now I can kind of put it where I want to, which is gonna be in the center, obviously. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue my logo on again with this Gorilla Wood glue. And once this circle is glued on, I'm gonna go ahead and take the inner piece of my logo and use this as a jig for the letters and the trees, because that's something I really need to make sure is aligned properly. So I'm just gonna fit this kind of on the inside where it should go and line it up as straight as possible. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue everything. And like I said, I just printed on all the same wood, but I spray painted with black spray paint my letters and my circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and start gluing this, and we'll see how it looks at the end. All right, here is my finished product. I will show you the back of it in just a second, but I wanted to show you what it looked like on the wall. So we have our backlighting, as you can probably see around it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it just so I can show you what it looks like on the back. Okay, so I ended up putting these blocks here on both of these planks just to kind of help it come out from the wall a little bit more, especially with this thick lighting that I have up here. But the lighting, I actually used 3M double-sided tape. I used the 300 LSC for that, and I just cut it the size of this strip and adhered it to my board, making sure the light obviously faced outward, and just ran it all the way across. Had some excess, so I put that in the center right here. But it actually turned out really well, and it fits perfectly with our new space. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful for you. If you are interested in getting a Thunder laser yourself, I'll have their email in the description box below where you can contact them and figure out what works best for you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I'm happy to help, and we'll see you in the next video.